Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. So today I'm going to be talking about the role of a surveyor in your land transaction. You're watching Own Land in Kenya and I'm Solomon Wangwe. Okay, so what's the role of a surveyor in your transaction? Very important person in that whole chain of events. And this is why. Typically when you're buying land, you'll be shown a particular parcel of land somewhere that you might like and want to proceed with. You'll be told what the size is that you need to pay for, and also the title deed will stipulate what the size of that land is. What a lot of people may not realize is there are often very huge discrepancies between the size of a property on the ground versus what it says on a document, like the title deed. So this is where the surveyor comes in. You must have a reliable and a professional surveyor to work with who can confirm not only the size of the piece of property that you're buying, but also its location. And I say that a bit lightly, but it's an important one. It's not uncommon for you to be shown a particular piece of property that's actually not where it's supposed to be. We were shown one, for example, in Nanyuki many years ago when we were scouting for land out there. We were shown a particular piece of land and we were even shown a beacon. It wasn't numbered, but it was a concrete beacon in the ground as they typically do in Kenya for general boundary beacon properties. And upon doing a due diligence, which includes working with a surveyor to confirm the dimensions and location of the property, turned out that the property we were actually going to pay for, based on the title deed documents, was almost 2 kilometers away from the one that we were shown. There's no way for you to know whether or not that location is accurate if you're new to the area. So it's important for you to work with a surveyor to confirm its location. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that they are licensed surveyor. Just like we discussed about lawyers, surveyors have to be licensed to practice in this country. Unfortunately, very few surveyors are licensed to practice. I'm not sure why the reason why that is the case, but many surveyors are not licensed. What they typically do is they work underneath the authority of a licensed surveyor. They will do the work and then take their work to a licensed surveyor to stamp and approve. While that is okay, I have issues with that, because if the licensed surveyor didn't actually do their work and all they're doing is stamping, very often they're paid a fee by the other surveyor to stamp. They may not know that it's accurate or not. So it's important for you to ask the surveyor you're working with for a license number, which you can easily confirm, again, with licensed surveyor's body. The second thing you want to make sure you do is that you understand that they are local. While there are surveyors or survey companies that will do work anywhere in the country, it always makes the process go a lot faster when you pick one who's familiar with the local area that you're buying the property. The reason for that is because they will understand things about the community, the history of the land, that a surveyor coming from the other end of the country may not. So you need to make sure, ask around, as with lawyers, ask around and vet them for yourself. The other thing you need to make sure you do, again, is you like them, right? If you're going to be working with someone for an extended period of time, you need to have good rapport. They need to be patient with you as you ask questions. They need to be willing to go the extra mile to make sure that you're comfortable, because after all, you're paying them, right? They're working for you. So you need to make sure that they are likable. The other thing you need to do, again, is make sure that they are of good integrity. You can never underestimate or talk too much about the importance of integrity with lawyers and surveyors. We often work with surveyors that we've identified after kissing very many frogs in the process. So it helps to ask around, ask reputable people, and they'll lead you to the right one. Why is integrity important? One thing that people may not be aware of, and this is something that we've learned over the years, for example, in Kajiado County, where we have invested quite a bit, we discovered in one particular area that we're invested in that surveyors, government surveyors especially, most of whom are retired now and are practicing privately, used to survey parts of Kajiado County to be subdivided amongst the local Maasai community members, right? And then the government would give them their title deeds for their private property. But because these communities were often allocated very huge tracts of land, in parts of Kajiado, the poorest, and I say that facetiously, but the poorest Maasai in certain parts of Kajiado County was allocated roughly 250 acres. Now, for someone who may not have gone to school because they were born before independence and they're elderly, may not make sense to them the difference between 200 and 250 acres, right? They may not know how big 250 acres should be. So what used to happen typically was that government surveyors would hive off little chunks of all these properties, little by little, 10 acres here, 20 acres there, 50 acres there, within a group ranch. And when it was all said and done, the Maasai landowner has a title deed that says that they own 250 acres, when in fact they only have 230 acres on the ground. And then you'd have a certain corner of the group ranch hived off for the district surveyor, the government surveyor, who then produced a title deed for himself. This is not an uncommon practice. It's not talked about often, but it's a reality. So integrity is very important. And these are things you can pick up just from having conversation. Usually you can tell when someone is sleazy when you interact with them. So make sure that they have integrity. And just like with lawyers, you can find out who has integrity by asking around and ask the right people. I hope that information helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, make comments. Our website, www.goshenacquisitions.com. All our social media platforms are up and running as well. You've been watching Own Land in Kenya. I am Solomon Wangwe. Stay tuned for more information on strategic land investment.